it's not that big a fucking deal. It's just a job, you know what I mean? I'm an eating, drinking, shitting fucking Santa Claus.
Prove it.
Fuck me Santa, fuck me Santa, fuck me Santa, fuck me Santa. Fuck me Santa, fuck me Santa, fuck me Santa, fuck me Santa.
Oh, can I at least take this hat off?
No, I love that. I love that.
Okay.
Hey man, welcome back to my place for the weekend binge, where I see what movies are coming out in theaters and make a fun little list of movies we can binge on Netflix or Amazon. Now, out this week in theaters, we have Vox Lux, starring Natalie Portman. Not that excited to see that movie, so I'm thinking we look at some other movies that are holiday movies. All right, let's take a look at this trailer.
To decorate the Christmas tree, I'll decorate you. You can decorate me.
No, not those types of holiday movies. Plus, any movies with these two people usually freaks me the fuck out. Let's look at this trailer. This is the kind of holiday movie I'm talking about. Let's take a look.
It's Christmas Eve in L.A.
California.
Is Daddy coming home soon?
Well, we'll see what Santa and Mommy can do, okay?
And New York cop John McClane has come to see his wife.
I missed you.
I love this movie, such a classic. Now I know there is much debate about whether or not this is a holiday movie, but come on, Christmas is front and center here.
They have already killed one hostage.
This channel is reserved for emergency calls only.
Lady, do I sound like I'm ordering a pizza? He's inside? Who is he? Who are you then? You are most troublesome for a security guard.
Sorry, wrong guess, huh?
Oh man, okay. So the types of holiday movies I'm talking about are movies that have Christmas or the holiday theme in it, but have nothing to do with Christmas, like Die Hard. Now, as I mentioned, this is a movie that a lot of people have a lot of discussion whether or not it's a holiday movie or not. So what do you think? You think Die Hard is a holiday movie?
No, not at all. I think it's a movie that takes place on the holidays. John McClane trying to save the world, and the holidays happen to be in the background, through line of the movie.
But it's not about the holiday.
But it's not about Christmas. But it's there though, so it makes you feel like, oh damn, that's happening on Christmas. Wow.
Interesting. Well, I think it's a holiday movie just because, you know, it's a classic. A lot of people consider it a holiday movie, and I feel like it'd be hubris for me to think otherwise, but I do see what you're saying.
Yeah, it's good to watch during the holidays.
Yeah, exactly, right? So I agree. There are other movies out there that kind of fit in the same framework. Right? So first up on the list of movies that take place during the holidays but have nothing to do with the holidays is a movie about some little monsters. Gremlins.
Yeah, getting kind of close to Christmas. Looks like you're gonna get stuck with a lot of trees again this year.
I thought I'd be seeing you about this time.
Huh? Ow! What the hell is this? Pete, what are you doing in there?
Don't ask.
Alex?
Gremlins is a little horror comedy that came out back in the 90s that, though it does take place during Christmas time, is more of a scary creature feature than a holiday treat. The story follows a young kid that gets a Christmas present, a very special Christmas present, from his lazy father who decided to search for said present inside of an old Chinese store.
Do you sell toys?
We sell forbidden objects from places men fear to tread. We also sell frozen yogurt.
Of course, beyond the vaguely racist notion of the Chinese being this other with possession of secret animals, there's also the very famous rules about how to handle these marowai, or as they're called, including not exposing them to bright lights, not getting them wet, and not feeding them after midnight.
No.
What happened?
He hates bright lights.
And after seeing the adorableness that is Gizmo, we quickly see how terrible these people are at following simple directions, when Gizmo spawns more like him, eventually leading to some that evolve into reptile-like little assholes. Even though we have Christmas as our way into the story, that is where it stops. The film then becomes a funny yet scary look at these little monsters taking over a small town. Back in the like the 80s and the 90s, did they have a term for like the magical Asian dude? Because we have the magical Negro.
Yeah, he just existed.
Right?
He just existed.
And we had Big Trouble in Little China. What is the Golden
Child?
Golden Child. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is your first time seeing
Kato.
Gremlins, right?
Yeah.
And so what did you think about the movie?
Well, I saw bits and pieces back in the day, but yeah, after watching it again, it's just like, man, it's just wild. Like,
question is,
Yeah.
at 12 years old, would you be able to follow the rules put forth by this magical Asian man? So no feeding after midnight, no water, and no bright lights.
I think I would try to follow the rules, but like animals get into stuff. I feel like it would just happen on my watch, and then I'd have been in trouble.
Yeah,
big trouble.
Yeah, it's like it makes me think of like anytime I've had like a little animal of some sort, and I've been responsible for them, and you leave them for like a minute, and you come back, and then something's fucked up, and you're like, I had no idea how this just happened.
Yeah.
So like you leave the gremlins alone, and then
they get wet. It would rain. It's like there's too many factors that can happen in life.
So going from some animals that can't stand water, we go to a dude who can't stand water beds. Edward Scissorhands.
Cut it, cut it, cut it, cut it.
By all accounts, Eddie Scissorhands is mostly remembered as the first time we got to see Johnny Depp connect with his future collaborator Tim Burton. But let's be honest, it's mainly remembered because of how bonkers the premise is. An artificially created man with scissors for hands tries to integrate with a small suburban community. And of course, along the way, gets into all types of crazy shenanigans, not the least of which involves Edward trying not to kill people with his very dangerous hands. Now, this may not sound like a Christmas movie at all. In fact, it seems more like a horror film than anything, but there is a section that does take place during Christmas and contains a lot of Christmas imagery. And let's not forget about this scene, which shows snow in a Southern California-like setting. There's this strange juxtaposition between the frigidness of winter connected with the frigid storyline.
They're coming?
Whew, man, crazy movie every single time. But my one question is if you had the ability to have anything attached to your hands forever, what would they be?
Lighters.
Lighters. You said that, you knew it. You just knew it. I can just imagine just going up like this, just having 2 lighters ready to go.
Edward Fire Hands.
Oh, Edward. Oh, man, he's got the name too. Man.
Shout out to Johnny Depp.
Damn, I don't even know. I feel like lighters is kind of perfect. Scissors is useful, but you can also kill people. I don't know. I feel like I'd have to go with like, not scissors, like a sword. Like just like a sword hand.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be kind of tight, right?
Yeah, that'd be dope.
I mean, obviously it'd be hard to interact with anybody, but then nobody would ever fuck with you. You'd be like Baraka.
Yeah, you would be like Baraka.
I mean, his shit came out from here, but still.
Shout out to Baraka.
Yeah, shout out to Baraka.
Yeah,
all right.
man.
All right, which leads us to our next movie, which is another classic by Tim Burton, Batman Returns.
Batman, just put me on
acid.
You wanna wait like a
When most people think of Batman, they likely do not think about Christmas. They also likely do not think of all the crazy and weird shit Tim Burton included into a second Batman film, but nonetheless, there's an undeniable Christmas energy running throughout the movie. The film takes place during the holiday season, and Burton shows us what Gotham during the holidays looks like, and if you thought it was all bright colors and green, then you're watching the wrong Batman movie. Instead, we see the likes of the Penguin and all of his henchmen using Christmas-themed weaponry like this. And this. There's also a sense of loneliness with the characters the Penguin and the Catwoman, both of whom are the movie's main villains. The lack of family for each of these characters, particularly when it pertains to the holidays, is a key reason each character loses their shit.
I'll warm you.
Down, Oswald. We need to talk. You see, you and I have something in common.
Sounds familiar.
Man, Tim Burton's vision, I just love it. Seeing Gotham during Christmas, it's kind of interesting, but
look at that snow.
I know, it's like, it's all miniatures and stuff, but it looks really cool. But what's most interesting to me to even think about is, what would you get someone like the Penguin for Christmas?
I'm thinking a vacation, like send him to Miami, the Bahamas.
Wait, the Bahamas, wouldn't that be too hot for him?
It might be, but maybe at least let him see it. Maybe he needs like to be inside the hotel, and then
Okay, all right,
something like that.
I think that for me, for Catwoman, I'd get her tickets to go see the show Cats.
Hey, that's a good one.
You know, maybe let out a little bit of the digression from some artistic, point of view instead of going all crazy.
She probably changed her whole thing. Like she's like, I gotta give this up.
Exactly. I made some Christmas cookies, as you can see, and they got a little bit of something special inside of them.
Oh, okay.
A little bit of that green special.
Yay, cookies.
Yes. No, not just cookies. Special cookies.
Looks like I'll be here for a while. Probably on the couch.
I can barely even taste the goodness. All right. Okay. All right. So next up on our list, we have a little bit of a change of speed. We got this movie called The Apartment, which I know you haven't really heard of, but just hear me out. It's perfect for the list. What you got for me? Yep. That's right. Let's do this. Okay, hear me out on this one. Even though The Apartment is considered a classic by Billy Wilder, one that has won numerous Academy Awards, it also has a significant portion of the movie that takes place right around Christmas and after. The story follows a guy named Bud as an exec who allows his apartment to be used as a smash pad by some of the higher ups of his company. This all comes to a head when Bud finds out that the woman that he's in love with is also one of the women that is being taken to his house. Now this story is simple and could have occurred at any time during the year, but having it set during Christmas and New Year's really adds to the melancholy of the whole situation. Bud has to juggle people using his apartment during Christmas, a time when most people are with their families. Bud, however, has nothing but this arrangement to his name, while we juxtapose this with the men who use Bud's apartment, who usually have families of their own. And we see this with images of them around a Christmas tree. In many ways, Bud wants what they have, which is a family, while these cheating men simply want what Bud has, which is freedom. Both are interesting things to think about during the guise of Christmas. Sometimes people want the image of something rather than the real thing.
Friend? Where are you, friend?
The Apartment by Billy Wilder. I know, it seems a little bit weird to have on the list, but I mean, it's a classic and it has Christmas in it. Now, the thing about Billy Wilder is that people don't realize is that he was basically the Steven Spielberg of like the 50s and the 60s. He wrote a ton of screenplays. He had a movie called Some Like It Hot, which is kind of was remade into White Chicks. He's kind of does everything that's kind of all over the place. Now, what's interesting about The Apartment is that it's originally based off of a British movie called Brief Encounter, which was originally about a couple that would go to this guy's place to have their little dalliances. Now, Billy Wilder, when he saw the movie, was like, what I want to see is the movie about the guy whose place that is. So, thank you, Billy Wilder, for making good shit. And last on the list, we have a movie with two partners, two people who are probably the most famous partners in the past decade, Riggs and Murtaugh for Lethal Weapon. Perfect.
Gun!
Raj, meet your new partner.
And this list of movies would not be complete without something from Shane Black. It's almost a joke that he has to have the holidays in just about every movie he's ever done. Like this movie.
Gay, Perry?
Still gay?
Me? No. I just like the name so much, can't get rid of it.
And this movie.
Got a lot of apologies to make.
He's really got a thing for Christmas. And Lethal Weapon was no different. Starring Danny Glover as Murtaugh and Mel Gibson as Riggs, we have one suicidal cop that gets partnered with a cop that simply is getting too old for this shit.
I'm too old for this shit.
Resulting in a team up for the ages. We also have Mel's amazing mullet wig, but that's neither here nor there. And Black loves to include Christmas not simply as a trope, but as a way to really convey story. Mel Gibson is depressed and suicidal following the tragic car accident that killed his wife 3 years prior. And having this kind of character dealing with their problems whilst having a new partner who has a very loving family, is a great way to show Riggs' arc. He slowly has the will to live, seeing the love of a family, especially the kind of love that comes during a holiday season. And this is punctuated at the end when Riggs joins Murtaugh's family for Christmas dinner, and Riggs gives Murtaugh the hollow point bullet he was going to use to kill himself because now he no longer needs to use it. Damn, you know, if a movie ends with a like rain in the cemetery, it's like extra somber.
And a guitar.
I mean, apparently this movie was originally a lot darker when it was first, you know, written, which makes sense.
Yeah,
Shane Black,
just tell me that. That's wow.
Yeah.
I always loved Lethal Weapon. Growing up, I love all of them. It's a perfect mix of comedy, drama, and action. Like so, you get a little bit of everything. Danny Glover, Mel Gibson, buddy movie. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and it's. I mean, the whole aspect of it taking place, you know, during the holidays. You know, I mentioned this before. Shane Black does everything during the holidays, but it makes sense. It feels right that this takes place during Christmas. So, yeah, Shane Black. Well, actually, Nice Guys didn't take place during Christmas, so I think he's probably off of that trope. So you have to see, and yeah, the Predators. Did you see Predator?
Yeah.
That didn't take place during Christmas, right?
No.
No. Okay, so I think he's off that trope.
Yeah. No.
All right. Well,
that would have been wild, though.
That would have been wild. Predator during Christmas.
Yeah. Ruin everybody's stockings.
Basically.
Stuffers,
or he'll basically put like a skull with the spine inside the stocking. Anyways, all right. Well, that's all the movies that I can do for this week that I could think of. And if you would like to continue the binge, here's a couple more movies that take place around Christmas but are not about Christmas.
Christmas time means laughter, toboggans in the snow, caroling together with faces aglow, stockings on the mantle, the moonbird door, and my merriest Christmas feet joy.
What if you couldn't remember your real name, your first kiss, or your last goodbye?
Honey, you have an ETA on that carrot?
Stow it.
And then suddenly,
I used to do this. I'm a chef. No!
without warning,
Give me something else. Celery. Scallions.
all your memories
Name's Charlie. I'm coming back.
came flooding back to you.
Evening, Charlie. Long time.
You experience things, and then they're over. I can't sleep. And when I do, I have nightmares. Honestly, there's 100 people who want to kill me. I hope I can protect the one thing I can't live without.
And here's where you can find all the movies that I've mentioned on this list. All right, man. That's all for this week. Peace. I'll see you later. What are you guys doing back here?
Celebrating Christmas.
Okay.
Oh, what up, hey man?
I mean,
Merry
dude,
Christmas, my job.
You pretty much live behind my couch, and last time I saw you were stealing food.
I stole this.
Cookie?
Me too.
All right. Well, did you guys give me a present at least?
Oh yeah, here you go. Merry Christmas.
Yes.
You got any eggnog, dog?
I got that. No, I don't. I ain't got nothing. I'm sorry, bro.
Got anything else for us?
I got wheat cookies, which you're eating right now. So be happy with that.
It was sprinkles.
All right. I'll see you later. This is fine. We're good. We're good.